Hey y'all, it's me, Dree. Let's get into the message. The collective is starting this message with recovery. We've got the Five of Coins reverse, the Four of Wands reverse, the Empress, the Nine of Cups reverse. So, with the Five of Coins reverse, the phrase on this card is out of the woods. So I'm getting that. Whatever the collective has been moving through, they're no longer at the deep part of it. There has been progress. There has been healing. There has been real movement. And I'm getting that the energy is already changing. But this next card, this tells us something important. Because this Four of Wands is coming out reverse. And the phrase on this card is people divided. It also says lack of support, disunion, and discord. So I'm getting that while the collective has been healing, the environment around them still is feeling fractured. I'm getting that things around them still hasn't fully come back together. There are still people who aren't on the same page. There are still relationships around them that feel divided. There is still a noticeable lack of support in the collective's energy field. But then it lands on the Empress. I don't see the Empress fixing any of this. I see the Empress absorbing it. And what I'm getting is that despite this disunion in their environment, the collective continues growing anyway. Y'all continue creating anyway. Y'all continue nurturing yourselves anyway. And y'all don't stop because support is missing. Y'all don't stop because people are divided. Y'all keep moving forward. But then, this Nine of Cups comes into the picture. This is reversed. The phrase on this card is a hollow feeling. So, this doesn't feel like devastation. This doesn't feel like heartbreak either. This feels like the realization that healing doesn't automatically erase absence. Because before this Nine of Cups, I'm getting that the collective is standing in their power. The collective is rebuilding. But even though y'all are doing that, you can still feel what's missing. Because there's still a hollow space where this support should be. There is still a hollow space where unity should be. And that's the energy that the collective is carrying into the middle part of this message. We start this with the King of Swords, the Tower reverse, the solar eclipse, and the 7 of coins. So this is where the collective becomes objective. I'm getting that instead of emotionally processing the situation, they begin instead to look at it clearly. They begin examining it honestly. They begin to ask themselves what exactly happened here. And that's when they run into, well, this Tower reversed. The phrases that stick out on this card: resisting change, delaying the inevitable. So I'm getting that this is what the collective becomes fixated on. It's this instability from the first column that suddenly starts to make sense. I'm getting that the division makes sense. The lack of support makes sense. This hollow feeling makes sense. Because the collective begins recognizing that something has been sitting in an unnatural state for a very long time. I'm getting that something should have changed by now. Something should have shifted. Something should have transformed. But instead, it stalled. It resisted. It delayed. And that realization, that becomes the catalyst here. This says big changes are coming. It's about a 6-month window. So this feels like the moment the collective realizes they are looking at a situation that can no longer remain the same. Because the truth has been seen. The instability, that's been recognized. And now change, well, that's become inevitable. But the final card in this row comes in and it's reminding the collective not to force anything. Because this 7 of coins, the phrase on this is, good things take time. So I'm getting the collective adopts a long-term view. They stop trying to rush outcomes. They stop trying to control timing. They stop trying to force resolution here. And they allow things to ripen naturally, all by themselves. And then as we move into the final column of this spread, the focus starts shifting. We've got the Queen of Coins reversed, the 6 of Swords, the Fool, and we've got this King of Wands, and he's coming in sideways. So with this Queen of Wands, the phrase that matters here the most, work-home balance, self-focus. So I'm getting the collective realizes they need to bring their attention back to themselves, back to their home, back to their own life, and back to their own foundation. This is going back to the things they can actually control. I'm getting the focus begins leaving this unstable situation altogether. Because as that happens, this Six of Swords appears. And this one, the phrase is, better times ahead. So this is restoration, peace, becoming stable. This feels like the collective crossing over into calmer water. And getting the turbulence starts falling behind them. The instability starts falling behind them. And the need to keep watching the situation, that starts falling behind them too. I'm getting that the collective begins moving forward here. And then we land on the Fool. I don't know. The Fool here, it feels like the unknown that remains. It feels like the unanswered question, the unresolved future, the path that has not fully revealed itself yet. And when I look at this final sideways card that's left, that interpretation makes even more sense, because this message ends with a sideways King of Wands. This is not upright. This is not fully reversed. This is sideways. So, sideways, this is unpredictable, unstable. This is someone still trying to figure themselves out, still trying to determine their direction, still sorting themselves out. So what I'm getting here is that the collective reaches a point where they no longer need to know what happens next in this show. Because I'm getting that before this situation can end, the collective, they reach peace first. The collective, they reach stability first. They reach smoother water first. And whatever happens to this unpredictable King of Wands energy after that, well, for now, that just is going to be a part of the unknown. Because I'm getting the spotlight is no longer on this person. The spotlight has been moved. And the collective is no longer centered on what that energy is doing. The collective is no longer centered on how that story resolves. The collective is no longer centered on waiting for the resolution to land. Because I'm getting the collective, they've already crossed the water by now. And they know that they'll eventually hear how this thing ends, so they don't need to fixate any longer. All that's left behind now is an unpredictable energy standing at the edge of an unknown reality, still trying to figure itself out. Meanwhile, the collective, y'all keep moving. And I'm getting that. That's just exactly what you guys have been doing all this time anyways. Since the beginning, really. The collective stays moving. And that's how the collective is arriving on the other side of this mess. And that's the message that I got for y'all today. So, if this one landed, then like the message, leave a comment, follow along, and remember, where there is love, there is light. I'll see you guys again real soon.